For the product comparison recommendation report, students, it's a 60-point assignment, so it is a large assignment. I wanted to go over the rubric with you so you know exactly what I'm going to grade you on. For content, that's 30 out of the 60 points, so what you put in it is the most important thing to me. You do need that introduction, like I said, right on your assignment sheet in the last video we talked about. You need to tell me what you chose as a product. You need to tell me again why you chose that product, and then in the introduction you need to make a reference to your chart or table so I know that that's coming later. All you have to do is say something like, you will see in chart 1 more information about these brands, or something to that effect. So you need an introduction. You need a summary section. Your summary section, again, is not summarizing all the information because that would be too long, and that's why you have your chart. It's just the surprises, the things that interested you, or your aha moments. The recommendation section is the part where you actually recommend a product, and then your table or chart. Your table or chart needs a heading, which would be chart 1 or table 1. It needs a title. It needs to be labeled appropriately. The format has to look nice, and it needs to have pictures of your different brands. 10 points out of the 60 will come towards documentation. You need to document all the websites you used. 5 points towards grammar, mechanics, and spelling. 10 points towards formatting, and that's because this is a memo format. So again, you need to use proper memo formatting. The spacing between your paragraphs, your vertical spacing, your labels, and your heading format, all of those things need to be appropriate and correct. And then 5 points will go towards tone, word choice, and conciseness. So look that over. I do have that document downloaded for you on my MTI. I want to show you some examples now. Here's an example of a product recommendation report. Again, it's in memo format, so if you look at that, it's vertically centered. It has the word memo at the top, has all that information in the heading, the to, from, date, and subject appropriately formatted there. In the introduction, this person says, I decided to compare 4 popular brands of reciprocating saws. I chose this topic because it's a tool mainly used in the field of ADBC. You will find the results in table 1 on page 2, so there's that reference we talked about. The summary section says, after completing the research, I was surprised to find the one with the smallest amps had the second highest strokes per minute, and the one with the highest amps also had the highest strokes per minute. I also found out the heaviest one had a pivoting head. Even though the Craftsman and Makita are good reciprocating saws, they cannot compete with the power and skill of DeWalt or Milwaukee. So in their recommendation, they said, overall, I found that the Milwaukee reciprocating saw was the best because of these things, and they list those things. Remember, we love bulleted lists, and if you can use them at any point in technical writing. So if you can use a bulleted list somewhere in here, that would be appropriate. The other section that's required is your works cited section. They had 4 different websites that they used. They had the Craftsman website, the DeWalt website, the Makita website, and the Milwaukee website. So look at that and put those in your works cited section. Like I said, those are the ones that are necessary. If you want to have other sections in there, you can. Here is their chart on page 2. They have their nice little heading here and their title, comparison of reciprocating saws. They've labeled both the horizontal and the vertical columns. This one is called criteria because these are the 7 criteria they looked at. This one is labeled brands because these are the 4 brands that they looked at. The headings are different colors and different font sizes so that they separate themselves from the information in the middle of the graph or the chart, the actual information that they found, okay? So make sure another thing that you do is you need to title things. If they had just put 13 here, I wouldn't have known that they were amps. Here, I wouldn't have known that the stroke length was in inches if they hadn't have labeled that. And weight, they put pounds, so I knew again exactly what they were talking about. So make sure you label everything on your graph or chart. And it looks very nice. They've centered it on the page, both vertically and horizontally. They have their pictures of their brands, and it looks very nice, and it explains that information very well. The other example I'll show you here real quick is, I don't have another complete memo to show you, but I was going to show you another chart. This one is called Climbing Spurs. Again, they named theirs chart 1. They have brands up here across the top, and then they have the criteria here down the side. Again, they have things labeled, and it looks very nice. So formatting again looks fantastic. Pictures look good. Everything's labeled inches, pounds. Here they talked about what the straps were made out of. So a lot of good things happening in this chart as well. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is seeing your charts in your reports. Let me go back to the other example again so we can end with you looking at this. Again, it's a memo format. You have to have all the sections that I mentioned in the rubric, and you have to have your chart as well. I hope you're having fun with this activity or this project, because it's something hopefully that will be knowledge that you'll need in the future for your future employment or the program that you're going into. If you have any questions this week, please let me know. Again, this is a 60-point assignment, and then next week we're going to work on the oral presentation, so I will talk about that next week. Have a great week, and let me know if you need anything. Thank you.